Good morning. Welcome to TSAT TET orientation program. We are inviting all the aspirants to this particular program. Today we are going to discuss about environmental science syllabus under the title of TET examination. One of the focused area in the TET examination is environmental sciences. Here we have two parts syllabus. The syllabus is divided into two parts, one is content part and the another one is methodological part. So, the candidate should prepare both areas in an effective way, then only we will get good marks in the examination. So, today we will discuss in detail about what syllabus areas are actually prescribed under the title of environmental sciences. Actually, there is no specific demarcation between science and social studies subjects. Why? Because environmental education is confined to deal with both subjects in an effective way. Particularly at primary level, the science education and social education are integrated together, that is called environmental sciences. So, today we will discuss in detail what actual themes are there in EVS syllabus. Why? Because the textbooks are designed under the process of thematic approach. So, the titles are also in the same way, but while preparing for the TET examination you have to follow certain sequence is required. Some lessons are there in 3rd class, the same lessons are there in 4th class, 5th class and the extensions will be appear in class 6th, 7th and 8th. So, in the examination the difficulty level is up to 8th class. That is why we need to prepare class 3 to class 8th textbooks. So, what chapters are already there in the syllabus in class 6th as well as class 7th, class 8th. So, under this particular paper in environmental education, 3rd, 4th, 5th it is titled as environmental education. Class 6th, 7th the subject is divided into two parts, science and social studies. So, my dear friends, we need to analyze what type of chapters are there, in what way they are integrated at high school level, in separated at high school level, in what way they are integrated at primary level. So, I would like to introduce the eminent persons. Today we have sir, he will explain the science portion and at the same time social portion. So, today we will discuss about science methodology, science content part as well as methodology part, social content part as well as methodology part. So, today we will start with the social studies paper. Sir, please explain what actual syllabus is there, what chapters are there, in what way they are arranged in a sequential order, how the participant should prepare for the examination, how to get good marks in the examination. Please explain, sir.
Good morning, sir. Everyone, my dear friends who are preparing TET examination, the paper 1 content and methodology part is there. Content part 24 marks and methodology part 6 marks, total 30 marks. First of all, I will with deal social part. For example, we have analyzed the syllabus. Topic 1, environmental studies, first chapter my family. First chapter my family. What is about the family? In this chapter we discuss family tree. In the days, family means father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, sisters, both are combined to discuss the about this is called family tree. This chapter is started with 3rd class and 4th class and further classes is introduced is here. Okay, first chapter family tree is 3rd class and migration part is there. Today all families are divided. For example, traditional days joint families is there, joint families, grandfather, grandmother and sisters, cousins is there. But nowadays globalization effect and all education literacy to increase in our country, the families are divided to individual families is there. Now the examination part, how to weigh of the questions in this part. First of all, the what is about the family tree? question is asked many previous examinations papers. Family tree means about the grandfather, grandmother. It is a tabulous form. Next, migration. Migration means education purpose and employment purpose. Families are migrated one town to another town, one city to another city, one state to another state, one country to another countries. These are called migration. Examination point of view, what is the causes of the migration? What is the first cause? Means employment. Next cause means education, higher education. Those some extent is their content. Next, changing structure of families. This part is fourth class introduced. Fourth class. Everyone should prepare, must prepare third class to 8th class, but extend the chapters 9th, 10th also you will discuss. Hence you will get 100% marks in social EVS content. First of all, students write down and now write down third class syllabus, fourth class syllabus, 6th, 7th. You should must read every line to line. Examination point of every line is more very important. Students must prepare the line to line. Next, changing structure of family. This chapter is introduced fourth class, and nuclear and joint families festivals. These are fifth class here. For example, nuclear families means father, mother, children, that is called a nuclear family. Joint family means grandfather, grandmother, these. Next, festivals. Very important questions is there. Festival for local festivals is there, state festivals is there, national festivals is there. In third class and fourth class introducing the Bonalu. The Telangana government celebrated the Bonalu festival is state's festival. Very important question in previous TET examinations asking the question. Next, Nalgonda Suryapeta district Jatra, one Jatra is there, that is called Pedagattu Jatra. Next, Warangal district, Sammaka, Saraka Jatras. Some festivals is there, local festivals. For example, villagers, Pochamma, next another, so many festivals is there. Very important, Vinayak Chavati festival. When it comes, the day is very important, Tithi is very important, examination point of view. Dasra, which day is come here. Next, Deepavali, very important. Next, festivals more, Batkama festival is very important in our examination point of view. Telangana government celebrated officially Batkama festival. It is every aspirant to discuss what is the festivals is there. Next chapter, work and play. Work and play means occupations. For example, every man to do some works. For example, lawyer, doctor. Next, daily wages. Next, some persons, teachers, lawyers. These are called occupations. This chapter is introduced third and fourth class and fifth class are. Next, child labor. Child labor means, for example, who are working below 14 years, that is called child labor. In Constitution, Article 24 is revealed that who are child laborers, the government will punish that persons. For example, some children are working in hotels and restaurants. Next, shops is child labor act is very important. Article 2009 some act is there. 2009 Education Act, Right to Education Act 2009. It implement in 2010 April. This act, every child in only school 14 years children in the school only. Then child labor and games are very important. In the third class and fourth class, fifth class, games introduce the lessons. For example, games are single games, 2 persons, and team games is there. For example, indoor games and outdoor games is introducing in the lessons. Every student must read 3rd class textbook and 4th class textbook, 5th class textbooks. Games must some rules is there. For example, kabaddi rules, cricket rules, some games is here. Compulsory you will read games, and local and national, international games is there. For example, every student must read the knowledge. For example, current affairs is very important. When will Olympic games is started, national games, kabaddi is a national game or state game. Very important questions is there. For example, effects of games on respiration and breathing, fate, circus. For example, in 2009 Act will revealed child CC is introduced. CC means continuous comprehensive evaluation. That means child overall development. For example, physical and mental overall development is there. Games is to develop students' physical strength. A sound body is sound mind is there. For example, physical education very important in RT Act 2009 revealed that. Okay, next chapters with biology part, sir. Discuss.
Okay, thank you, sir. These are the major things under social studies part in our TET examination. So, one humble request for the participants is, there are some chapters, the same chapter is continued in the 4th and 5th classes, but the thing is very simple here. It is very easy to get marks particularly on the content part, but the framing of the question is not so easy to understand. But try to understand the concept discussed in the textbook and observe what actual questions are there in the TET examination in the previous question papers. Please go through the pattern, how the questions are formed with the basis of simple content given in the textbook. Why? Because very simple concepts are there in our EVS syllabus. The family, like our sir explains that there are micro family and macro family, the family members and the relationship between family members, what are the roles and responsibilities, why the people are migrating from one place to the other place. These are all the things discussed in our syllabus, but it seems to be very simple, but while framing the question, the distractors are very closely related. In that particular situation, you people should have competent authority to find out what is the correct answer for this particular question. And one more thing here is, from class 3rd to class 5th, the social studies portion is very limited. Some simple areas are there, some mapping points is also there, but if you go through this particular subject in a overall part, what are the state specific activities, what are the state specific festivals, what are the state symbols, and other things are also important for our examination point of view. And now another part in the EVS subject is science part. Science plays a dominant role. Why? Because in our EVS textbook there is no equal distribution between science and social part. More number of chapters are there related to the social studies science part, some few chapters are there related to the social studies part. So, you people should have mastery over the content given in the textbook. So, now we will request Prabhakar Reddy sir to explain about the areas mentioned in the EVS textbook as well as in science and so textbooks in class 6th and class 7th also. Please explain what chapters are actually there, what is the pattern of examination, what types of questions will be appear in the examination. Please make our aspirants to feel comfort to attend the examination. Sir, please explain, Prabhakar Reddy garu.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, all the TET aspirants and TSAT lovers. Good morning once again. Just now, Dr. Ramesh sir clearly explains about the demarcation between science and social, and of course, the importance of the environmental studies in the TET examinations. Sir also stated that environmental studies is not only important for the paper 1, it is also important for the paper 2, because this is the base for the biological science part, which is meant for the paper 2. So, please be careful about the paper 1 EVS, and it is the base, and it is having so many themes and important points for the paper 2 biological science also. So, here when we are dealing with the plants and animals in this EVS, whenever the student entered into the primary school, first second only languages mathematics is there. Just now sir explained, from the 3rd class onwards environmental studies he is facing the classes 3rd, 4th and 5th. So, why this environmental studies? Whenever the consciousness about the surroundings, whenever the consciousness about the relations, the family, houses, the animals, the pet animals, plants, food, like this, whenever the consciousness is increasing to the child, then the environmental studies is focused on these issues only. First of all, the people, whenever he is coming to the school, or when from the school to whenever he is going to the home, he is observing so many types of plants and animals which are surrounding to his environment. What are the plants are there? What are the animals are there? What are the pet animals? What are the wild animals? What are the cruel animals are there? Like this, he goes on thinking. This will leads a critical thinking nature, a observation nature. That is the first point to introduce environmental studies in the primary area. When we discussing about plants and animals in this EVS TET syllabus, we clearly stated that plants and animals in our surroundings, plant and animal product, clearly listen this, plant and animal products. Why? Because we are all depending upon our food by which are giving by the plants and animals. So, we are dealing with so vast of topic from here, and particularly from the 3rd to 5th, and sir no just now stated 6th and 7th class also, parts of the plant, how the plants are able to prepare the food materials. It is started from 6th class to up to 10th class. Nutrition in the plants, 10th class one topic is there, as you are aware of this one, photosynthesis. Of course, we are the dependents of the plants, so we are not able to prepare our food. Why? Because the plants are the producers. They are giving food for the entire universe. They are the producers. They are producing the food by the process of photosynthesis. So, how the photosynthesis process takes place? Photosynthesis, the process which takes place in the presence of sunlight. So, like this, plants and animal products. So, what are the plant products? Fruits, vegetables, leafy vegetables, seeds, grains, so many types of we are using in so many variants, so many substances we are using, so many food materials we are using from the plants. And the animal products also. What type of animals? From 3 to 5, just the animals which are present in our surroundings are explained, but just now sir stated that you may focus, keep on up to 6th, 7th, up to 8th class. Why? Because in the 8th class it is clearly stated that food production from the plants, how the agriculture steps, how the agriculture taken place, what are the steps present in the agriculture. Aquaculture is there, pisciculture, particularly culturing of fishes. So, what are the natural aquacultures are there, artificial aquaculture plants are there. So, like this we are going in depth about the animal products. Honeybees, they are producing honey, apiculture is there. So, sericulture, like this, so many types of food products are there from the animals. So, about the plants, parts and their functions, we go in depth about the photosynthesis. In the photosynthesis, we discuss about what is photosynthesis, factors of photosynthesis and end products of the photosynthesis. What are the end products? Generally, starch is the end product, and of course, oxygen is the byproduct, which is very much used for our livelihood. So, next we go for the reproductions. What type of reproductions are there? In the primary level, in the EVS level, just reproduction is started in the EVS level, but you go up to the 8th class, the reproduction process is there in depth. what are the vegetative parts of reproductions are there? Vegetative propagation, asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction. Whenever we go for sexual reproduction, we must be discuss about androecium and gynoecium. Androecium, a group of stamens from which the pollen grains are came as the which will release the male gametes, and the ovule which is present in the ovary of the gynoecium or the pistil. So, the fusion of the male and female gametes, the syngamy, the fertilization, which will leads to the ovule converts into the seed, ovary converts into the fruit. Like this, whenever we go for a reproduction, vegetative propagation, the reproduction from roots, stem, leaves, which are the vegetative parts of the plant, that is vegetative propagation, and the sexual reproduction, the flowers are meant for sexual reproduction. Like this, the plants, animals, and what are the wild varieties? Wild varieties which are the natural varieties, which are disease resistant, which are naturally pest resistant varieties are there, and what are their food habits? All these are explained in this plants and animal chapter. And animals for their food, how they are habituated to their habitats, how the food is available in their habitats, the habitat ecosystem, up to that this will deals about the plant and animal chapter in the EVS, and you go on focusing up to, just now sir clearly stated that up to 7th class onwards to focus on these plants and animal issues. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Good, sir. Actually, in our class 6th and 7th, there are so many lessons, but the questions also comes under EVS part. Here, some lessons are there. The not only to the science part means the physical science and biological science portions are combined together in class 6th and 7th. So, the aspirant should prepare another lessons are also there in the textbook, how to pay attention on that area also. And one more important point is some lessons are narrated in the textbook in a story way. For example, in class 7th fiber to fabric lesson is there. The lesson is narrated in a story form. How the silk worm, how the life cycle of the silkworm and how the silk is prepared, what steps are there, pruning, what is the meaning of how to make yarn from the sheep. These are all the things discussed in fiber to fabric lesson. In class 6 also in class 6 the basics of this lesson is also there, cotton, jute industry, and what type of mills are there, how the yarn is prepared from the cotton seeds. Some technical words are also there in the textbook. So, my dear aspirants, please go through the textbook. Some technical terms and vocabulary is there. You have to list out all the vocabulary from the textbook. It is easy to identify the correct answer. At the same time, another lessons they are related to the physical science part, particularly weather and climate lesson is there. In that weather and climate lesson, how the weather influences in our daily life situations, what are the instruments and apparatus to measure rain and wind speed, etc. is also there in our syllabus. So, these are all also important points. Sir, please explain what another areas in the textbook.
Okay, sir. Next topic is there in our TET syllabus, food. Just now we are discussing about our food. This is started from the EVS 3rd, 4th, 5th and continued up to the 10th class. In the 6th class, our food chapter is there. In the 7th class, food components chapter is there. In the 8th class, food production from the plants and food production from the animals. In the 9th class also, the challenges in the field of agricultural production. In the 10th class, nutrition, the first chapter is there. So, this food chapter is very much important at the TET aspirants in the EVS part. So, what are the contents are there? Different types of foods, storage of the food. Particularly when we are discussing about different types of foods, we must discuss about food components. What are the food components are there? What are the components of balanced diet? There are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins and minerals, and mainly fiber. So all these components, they may constitute a balanced diet. So what is meant by balanced diet? What is the importance of balanced diet? If we do not take or do not consume the balanced diet, what will happen? So many malnutrition diseases are there. Up to 10th class they will be discussed. Kwashiorkor is there, marasmus is there, pellagra, so many obesity is there, so many malnutritional diseases are there. So this is very important about food, food grains, food storage, food production. Food storage also, it is very much important. Why? Because so many students, they are purchasing junk food packets from the shops. They are very much harmful. Why? Because for the purpose of preservation, they are adding some preservatives for the purpose of color, for the purpose of smell, and for the purpose of last lying nature or period. So they are adding some other some preservatives. They are not useful. They are very harmful and they may cause diseases also. So when we discuss about clearly about food, food nature, food storage, this will leads to the formation of good habits to consume the balanced diet food by the students. Generally, we also observe in the schools, when the people, the students who are consuming the midday meals, not all the persons, some persons, they are just listing out, they are just taking it off from their plate, like some vegetable parts, some curry leaves, if are there some, they are removing. Actually they are the very important. Whenever though they are the very important, whenever they approached, whenever they completed this syllabus. So in this food, all the food components are there which are constituted the balanced diet, that is very much important, and the food storage, food grains, and nutrients of food and deficiency diseases that will leads to up to the animal husbandry. Generally in the rural areas, whatever the families are doing agriculture, the animal husbandry with the integral part of this animal agriculture. So up to 8th class, this chapter discuss about or focused about on this food chapter. And one more topic is also there, shelter. In the EVS area, just now the students just aware of their shelter, their home. First of all, they know about the need and different types of homes, different types of shelters. In the 6th class, we discuss about in the name of habitat. Who lives in which habitat? Where the cattle lives, where the sheep and goats lives, where we are living, where the wild animals are living, where the snakes are able to live, where the birds are living. Like this, they may expose it to a different critical thinking or observational nature. This will lead to the shelter. What is the need? Different types of houses and different appliances they use. Nowadays, just now sir said, nowadays while the technology increases, we are using multiple electronic appliances for our use, for our desire, for our comfort, for our luxuries. So many electronic appliances are there, from the gas stove, fridge, heater, cooler, AC, TV, so many electronic appliances are there. So what is the use, what is the actual use of the electronic appliances will be learned by these students, and that is very important. And one more is air. Whatever the air is there in our environment, is it good or healthy air, or is it polluted? So it will lead, this topic is also leads up to the chapter of 9th to 10th class. Air is one of our precious natural resource. If we keep this air fresh up to next generations also, the healthy generations they will appear. If the environment, if the air is polluted, it will leads to the so many hazardous health problems, so many diseases. It will causes the economic burden on the living families. So, air, causes of air pollution, the factors related to the air pollution, the effects of air pollution and the influences of the air pollution, and the how to remove, how to decrease the air pollution are the contents should be discussed or focused in this chapter. Okay, sir.
Good. And some more points we would need to discuss in the syllabus area. For example, some lessons are there in class 7th textbook. For example, soil and its nature, air pollution, forest, our life. These lessons are also there in the textbook. There is a chance to ask questions from that area. This is also discussed in a wide variety of sections. In the soil, in the water pollution, what are the causes and reasons for water pollution, how to recycle this particular water, what steps are actually following in recycling of water, all these things are discussed in under water pollution. And another important point in our textbook is forest our life. Sir, please explain in what way the lesson participant should appear for the examination, what important points are there in those lessons, please.
Yes, sir. So, next our main topic is energy. Just now sir stated that what are the energy we are using, the energy released from the fossil fuels. Now, a renewable and a non-renewable sources of energy is explained in the EVS and up to our 8th to 9th level. Just now sir stated about the forests. Forests are our renewable sources, main the sinks of carbon dioxide and the sources for our oxygen. So, in the non-renewable energy resources we are using fossil fuels. What about the renewable energy resources? They are water. We are producing electricity from, for example, like Nagarjuna Sagar, Srisailam dams and some other dams. Okay. So, water is one of our renewable energy resource. What is the second one? Main solar power. Just we are using 1% solar power and there are abundant, plenty of the choice is there to use solar power. Just now solar bikes, solar cars, solar panels, solar street lamps just now we are appearing here and there, but their use must be increased. And wind power, thermal power, tidal power, geothermal power, so many types of renewable energy resources are there. We must focus on this renewable energy resources and what are the choices are there and which places are the suitable to establish this type of renewable energy resources. And the one more topic is water. Water is a renewable energy resource. First of all, we must focus about the importance of water and the water resources. What are the water resources are there? What are the water reservoirs are available in our state? What are the choices to increase the water resources? For example, you may state up to the social part also, you may state up to Mission Bhagirath and up to now we are observing about soak pits in the each and every houses. They are strictly, each and every authorities are strictly imposing soak pits. It means what are the water recharges are there, how to recharge the underground water, how to increase the underground water column, like this importance of water, water resources and water pollution, types of water pollution, causes of water pollution, factors of water pollution and the effects of water pollution and how to decrease the water pollution. All these and what type of drainage systems are there in their villages. Just now they are observing here and there in their environment, in their surroundings. So, what are the measures to prevent water pollution and what type of the purification of water. Just now sir stated about the purification of water and how to decrease or prevent drought and floods. All these are must be focused in this chapter or in this content area. Sir.
Okay. One more important point here is, while we are preparing for the examination, whatever points are discussed in the textbook, you should apply those concepts for our state specific areas. For example, if you are going to read about the plants and animals given in the syllabus for class 3 to 4th and 5th, you should apply what is our state bird, what is our state tree, what is our state fruit. You should know those things. Some questions may be asked based on these extension areas also. And the same time, there are some reservoirs, there are some projects in our state. For example, Kaleswaram is there. Question may be asked based on what are the actual resources for the Kaleswaram dam. Is it Godavari water? Is it any other river? So, you need to apply your knowledge for the state specific concerns. In the same way, some festivals, state specific festivals, particularly to the tribal areas, Nagoba Jatara is there. So, you need to identify what are the actual traditions and practices following Medaram Jatara, Nagoba Jatara. Such type of state specific points you need to understand to correlate the content given in the textbook. So, sir, one more point I want to need clarification. For example, some lessons discussed in our textbook for living things and non-living things. And human body, muscles, bones, joints, etc. lessons are also there in class 6th and 7th. Sir, what type of questions, is there any chance to ask questions from these lessons, sir?
Yes, sir. In the TET EVS syllabus, they clearly stated about our body. Our body means our health, our hygiene, cleanliness, neatness of personal hygiene and the individual or environmental hygiene or the surrounding hygiene. And one more, the internal body systems are given in the TET syllabus. So, just now sir stated about EVS means not to focus on only 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
You focus on the continue. Why? Because all the syllabus are, they may arrange in a thematical, in a spiral manner. The questions may be asked beyond also. So, in our body, so many organs are there. What are the organ systems are there? For example, digestive system, respiratory system, our circulatory system belongs to our heart, blood vessels, blood circulation, excretion, our urinary system, our kidneys, our nephrons, how they are working, and mainly coordination, how all the parts, all the organs are coordinating with other. For example, while we are walking, simply some primary level student says, what are the organs which are participating in the walking? Only legs. But imagine if you just close your eyes and walk properly, do you able to walk properly? No, it means eyes, ears, hands, legs, all organs must be coordinated together. All these coordinated by the nervous system, our brain, spinal cord. What type of nervous systems are there? Peripheral nervous system, central nervous system, autonomic nervous system, autonomous nervous system, like this. Next, mainly reproduction, reproductive system, male reproductive system, female reproductive system, how the reproduction takes place in plants. Just now we discussed vegetative, asexual and sexual. And in the male and female reproductive system, importance of hormones. What are the hormones are important for the male reproductive system? In the previous examination, just one diagram is given. In one diagram, one pregnant woman is there, and in same diagram adjacent, one mother feeding his baby. Just now they are asked one question. What are the hormones related to this diagram? Just now sir clearly stated, indirectly they are asking the questions. You must apply your knowledge. So, whenever you are thinking about the female reproductive system, estrogen and progesterone, like that you think. Like that, lymphatic system, skeletal system, muscular system, so many systems are there. So, you must focus all these systems which are present in our body and healthiness of the system. Just now sir says about work, play and games. What are the importance of the games? While games and sports, our respiratory system will be more strengthened. How these are related? What type of martial arts are there? What types of local games are there? They are what type of games and sports which are related, closely related to our healthy aspects. All these content should be focused in this lesson. Thank you, sir.
Okay, good, sir. And another important point here for the preparation of TET examination, in our textbooks, EVS textbooks, particularly 3rd to 5th and 6th, 7th textbooks, some box items are there in the textbook. There is a chance to ask from that particular section also. So, my dear friends, please do not ignore to that area. There are some essential elements discussed in that box items, that is most important. For example, in air pollution, why the air pollution takes place, what is the meaning of aerosols. So, such type of parts are discussed in that area. In EVS, one plant and green revolution and other issues discussed here. Leela Lakshma Reddy and its activities, how they contribute to the propagation of plants. These are all the things discussed in box items. So, there are some important concepts discussed in box items. Please go through that area also. And one more important point for our examination is, at the end of each lesson, some key vocabulary is there. You should read those vocabulary and understand what is the meaning of that particular word. And while preparing the designing the questions for the TET examination, content is very simplest manner in our textbooks. So, the paper setter may concentrate on the keywords also. So, you have to go through the keywords, what keywords are there at the end of the lesson, what is its actual meaning, why that keyword is introduced in the textbook, in what way the keyword explained in the textbook, all the things should be understandable. And another important portion in our textbook is some questions are given at the end of the lesson. Those questions are designed on the basis of academic standards. Particularly, one question may be appear in the examination, project works. There are number of questions are designed in our EVS and science textbooks, particularly under the title of project work. So, the result of the project, question may be asked on the result of the project. So, this is also one important point in our preparation. Sir, is there any other thing in our science syllabus to discuss, sir? Please explain.
Sir, two social points are there. Later we will discuss about the next science, social. Continue.
Next, sir, next point, mapping, sir. Mapping is very important. This topic is introduced 3rd class to 10th class, sir, up to 10th class. You will must read. Mapping is introduced in 3rd class, 4th class, 5th class, 6th class. The questions may be erased. From example, showing some symbols is there. For example, well, what is the well symbol, what is the meter gauge, broad gauge, and tank, temples symbols, church symbol, so many symbols is there. For example, post office, hospitals, very important. Previous examinations, TET examination will ask what is the symbol indicated temple, what is the symbol indicated church, what is the symbol indicated meter gauge and broad gauge. So many symbols is there. For example, 6th class and 4th class also is there. Next, mapping is very important. For example, a child is draw the picture, indicates top of the notebook, north and south, east, west, very important. Next, measurements is there, mapping, for example, scales. For example, India map is draw, what is the measurements is given in the text, very important. Next, types of maps is there. For example, physical maps, political maps, weather maps, so many different types of mapping is there. For example, mapping is 6th class to 10th class, up to 10th class. 10th class Indian climate maps is there. 9th class European, some other continent maps is there. Very important. Weather maps is important. Examination point of view, for example, one question is very important. green in the map, green mark, what is the indicator? That is called forest, very important. Yellow and white color is minerals, is indicated. For example, some colors is there, what is the indicated? Very important. Students must read and this orientation. For example, everyone to write notes. For example, 3rd class to up to 10th class, line each every line very important. For example, 10th class syllabus is there, our Indian mapping is there. For example, where is the rivers? Krishna, Godavari, Ganga. Next projects is there. For example, so many. Wow, very important. Longitude and latitudes is very important. Our Telangana state, which is the north, which is the south, which is the east and west area is very important. Next, districts maps, mandal maps and state maps, India map, very important. Some examination point of view, for example, some indicated the map which is the located, asking the questions. Next, next chapter, history and culture of India, very important. History and culture is introducing the 4th class syllabus to 10th class, up to 10th class. For example, prehistoric period, Indus civilization, Harappan civilization, very important. Sir John Marshall is in 1921-22. Indus civilization in our country is very important. What is the indicator of Harappan Nagarikata? Harappan Nagarikata is urban civilization is there. Very important. What is the what type of goods is used? What type of metals is used? Very important. Next, culture. Culture means, for example, to speak language, to use, for example, to use food and to wear the clothes. It indicates the culture. Culture is very important. This culture is introduced 3rd class to up to 10th class.
Okay, sir, in this particular social studies area, some isms are also there, Buddhism, Jainism and other things are also may be discussed. So, my dear aspirants, the content portion given in the textbook, you need not worry about the syllabus directly from class 9th, and textbooks will not appear in the examination. You should go through class 8th only, but the difficulty level is up to class 10th. So, in your preparation, you should make your own notes, what actual points are discussed in class 3, in what way they are continued in class 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So, this is very easy to get marks from EVS section. Very simple concepts are there, the direct questions are there, there is no tricky questions, or there is no application type of questions. The content is directly appear in the textbook. Paper setter is also concentrate on the framing of question, while framing of question he is just gone through the textbook only. So, my humble request is, please go through the textbooks itself only, class 3 to class 8th, sciences and social studies textbooks, they will come under EVS question paper. Sir, is there any other thing in science part to discuss, sir? Please.
2 topics are there, sir.
Okay, time is up.
Okay. Next, your part.
So, here some science parts just belongings to the actual TET and EVS area. These are the systems which are present in our body, and mainly the content. Actually, when we are discussing about the systems in detail, the nutritions, how the plants prepare their food, how the human beings are parasites, saprophytes and symbionts, nature is there, and some other natural resources and the cycles are there, which are the bio geochemical cycle like nitrogen fixation, oxygen like oxygen cycle, water cycle like habitat. So many types of contents are there. Just now sir stated that you not only observe the 3, 4, 5, you just focus up to the 9th, 10th class. only focus on the textbooks which are prescribed by the Telangana state government. Okay, sir, that must.
Sir, is there any other thing in social part, sir? Is there any topics discussed in like our constitution and other things? Please explain, sir.
Okay, sir. Our constitution is very important chapter. In this is introducing 5th class to 10th class. Okay, sir. Our for example, Indian constitution areas. For Indian constitution, location, area, physical features. Next, our constitution, what is the parliamentary system, and local governments is there. For example, governor, next CM, very important. What next, gram panchayat and mandal parshad, MPP, what is the components is there, we will discuss. Next, another point, constitution, fundamental rights and fundamental duties is very important, sir. Fundamental rights indicates in article 14 to 21. Next, fundamental duties is there, and so many chapters is there. Examination point of view, very important to read and write the notes, very important. Time is very less. Next time we will discuss analyzing, sir.
Okay.
Next, last chapter, only security, sir. This means earthquakes, floods and fire. For example, on 108, 104 vehicles is there. Very important. Examination point of view, toll free numbers, very important. Previous examination questions, which is the women's toll free number, and 104, 108 child toll free number is asking so many questions is there, sir. Very important. Next.
Good, sir. Thank you. And if you observe the overall opinion, overall idea about this EVS textbook, the chapters are particularly finally sir discussed about the constitution, what are the steps are there, actually freedom struggle stages. You have to prepare one timeline chart. What is the first activity, what is the second activity, then only we will have a comprehensive idea about framing of constitution and the governmental processes, how the state government is formed, how the gram panchayat works, who is the leader of the gram panchayat, and other things also. So, these are all the very simple areas. There is no need to practice more and more. If you go through the textbook in you will get good marks. And another important portion in our TET examination is methodology part. In this methodology part, we need to study about methodology means how to teach the textbooks in the classrooms. So, in our methodology area, the concepts of EVS, what is the meaning of EVS, how the EVS is derived, these things are discussed in the concept of EVS. EVS means to understand immediate environment of the student. There are some resources around us, there are some activities around us. By understanding of these resources, child will engage with these resources, then he will cope up for his future life. So, the chapters mentioned in the textbook is totally depend on the experiential orbit of the student. And another important point in our EVS methodology is aims and objectives of EVS. Why we should read aims and objectives? What is the aim of reading of EVS? To observe the nature, to have some process skills. What are process skills? Classification, explanation, giving reasons, all are the things comes under classification part. So, the objective of EVS is to make the individual students to cope up with his immediate environment, to follow certain democratic principles, to follow certain environmental awareness abilities also. And one more important point in the TET syllabus, particularly in methodology part, is academic standards. In the previous question papers, more number of questions are asked on academic standards. The textbook is also designed based on the academic standards, particularly in the EVS combined format of academic standards. For the first one, generally we have conceptual understanding is there, asking questions and making hypothesis, drawing and labeling, experimentation, concern towards daily life situations, project works. All these are all 6 academic standards are there in EVS textbooks. The same academic standards are also appear in science textbooks as well as in social studies textbooks, but slight difference is there. In EVS textbooks, both science and social academic standards are combined together and arranged in a sequential order. Mapping and drawing comes under one particular title, whereas in class 6th and 7th, drawing comes under science part, mapping comes under social part. And one more important academic standard in social studies is discussion on contemporary issues. So, such type of comprehensive based academic standards are also there. You need to list out what academic standards are there under EVS part, what academic standards are extended in science part and social studies part. And one more important point is you need not restrict it to this portion. Why? Because the background of the academic standards, how the academic standards are coming to force, what are the recommendations of national curriculum framework, how the transformation is placed, Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives, in what way that is converted into learning outcomes and academic standards. So, you need to focus on the 3 domains discussed by the Benjamin Bloom's taxonomy, that is cognitive domain, psychomotor domain and affective domain, and some objectivity and specifications is also discussed. You need to follow those areas are also. And one more important point is learning and assessment. This is also important portion in our methodology part. Learning, how the learning takes place, what are the activities are designed to learn EVS in our classrooms, what is group activity, what is individual activity, how to conduct project work in the classroom, how to conduct child centered activities in the classroom. These things are also discussed in this area. Questions may be asked from this particular portion. And another point is the methods and strategies what we are using in teaching of EVS. Actually, we have some type of methods, that is lecture method and lecture demonstration method. Those type of methods are not there in EVS. In our EVS syllabus, activity based education is there, project based education is there, child centered pedagogical areas are there. And if you go beyond that particular part, designing of lesson plan is also important. Questions may asked on designing of teacher preparation, how the teaching learning material is useful, in EVS what type of material is required, how to conduct a school based laboratory, what are the measurements of the laboratory, how the laboratory is helpful to understand students to learn things from science and social studies parts. And another important portion in our syllabus is assessment, that is nothing but continuous comprehensive evaluation. Before that, we have assessment portion, that is only paper pencil test. After introducing of 2005 National Curriculum Framework, certain examination reforms are also introduced in our classroom syllabus. In CCE portion, the student is assessed in different ways, that is called 360-degree assessment or holistic assessment and overall assessment part. The under a CCE part, we have 2 types of assessment processes. One is summative assessment and the another one is formative assessment. Under formative assessment, we have 4 tools, particularly in EVS. These 4 tools are very important. How to conduct experiments and activities, how to write the record is also one of the testing tool. Whereas in case of summative assessment, the questions are designed based on the academic standards, the questions are arranged in the question paper even itself also academic standard based. So, 80% weightage and 20% marks allotment, such type of calculations is also there. Please go through those activities also. Finally, we will get good marks from the examinations. Anyhow, this is only the just peripheral awareness about the EVS subject. Actually, this is not so sufficient to understand the things. So, aspirants are requested to go through the textbooks. You need not worry about content, questions and other things. They are very simple, they are very easy to understand, but the distractors are somewhat similar. While writing the examination, you should read the question twice or thrice, then only you will then after you will identify the correct answer. So, this is very easy to get marks in the examination. Wish you good luck. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
All the best.
TET aspirants.
All the best.
Quantum technologies exposure